What's cracking, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. New video. Before we get into the video, make sure you guys check out Food and Fallon's. He did a wrap snacks review this morning. Go ahead and check him out. Support the channel. I also want to thank everybody for all the support you've been showing the channel. Everybody's been tuning in. I appreciate you. You guys have been asking me for a long time to make the videos longer. I've been trying to do that. So far, so good, I think. We've also met pretty much every one of the goals. When I said, let's get to when I said 2,000 likes, I don't know if we made that. I have to check. I think by now we may have. But when I said 1,500, boom, you guys got me. When I said 1,000, you guys had me. So today, let's go for 1,500 likes. I appreciate you. Remember, that does help the channel. It pushes the channel out, forces YouTube to get me into the algorithm. When you guys comment, that helps. Even the haters, when they hate in the comments, the computer doesn't know what it is. They just know that it's interaction with the channel and it helps me out. So thank you guys too. Now today's subject is touchy. You guys see the title and the thumbnail. It is touchy, man. But I've been asked about it. And so I'm going to talk about it. You guys know there's certain terms I just don't use. There's a lot of things I don't mention. This time I think I'm going to use a term that I hardly ever use. And it's because it's how to get the point across clearly. So I want to start this. I want to preface this with this. You guys know I always say gangbanging, I don't understand why it's still around. In a way, I do, because I understand the insecurities that some children have growing up in broken homes, dysfunctional homes, violent homes, abusive homes. And they develop these certain beliefs. And they believe that the streets hold the answer. So I get that. I just wish that wasn't the case. Because there's a lot of kids that are having the same issues and they choose to educate themselves, while others, like I did as a kid, as smart as I'd like to think I was, I made all the stupid decisions, all the wrong decisions, and I paid a heavy price, and that's why I do what I do here. Okay? Now, I do also want to say that those people that do get involved in barrios and gangs and whatever, right? Like when I did the video on the white dude yesterday, right, running with the Southside. To me, it's the same thing. It's in certain ways. If a black dude runs within a barrio, right, your barrio accepts you. It's just prison is a little different. People have asked me what happens when black dudes run with the Southside. And I remember in YA, and I've told stories before, YA was very racist. Where I was at in Paso was very racist. YTS, I don't remember it being as racial as Paso. But Paso had all the race riots going, and mandatory you had a gangbang on all your enemies. So it was different, right? But I remember a few black homies there. And I was cool with them. Like, my whole thing was like, if your homeboys accept you, who in the fuck am I to be like, man, fuck that dude. But I do remember other homies being like, I ain't eating after that, vato. And it was the racism that they had. It was, they didn't care. They weren't their homeboy from their barrio, and they saw a color rather than a homie. And I'm gonna say, I wanna tell a story. I remember being in New Folsom, beginning of my prison term, right? And I used to kick it with this dude from he was from Largo, Compton Barrio Largo, and he had been down. He had already, he had done a lot of things, and I gravitated towards him. He was a cool ass dude, man, and I used to pick up game, soak up game from him, right? And I remember one day, some homies came on, they were clowning, they were like, hey, Holmes. hey, your homeboy Leroy's here, your homeboy Tyrone, and this and that. You know, all the, you know, trying to clown him. And he was like, who? And they say, hey, you got a homeboy that rolled up in the he's on Fish Row right now, and he's black. And so they were clowning him, right? But clowning with him. I don't want to say clowning him because he wasn't somebody that you're just going to clown, but he liked to joke around, so they were joking around with him. And I was like, what's up with that, eh? You know what I mean? The way they were getting at him. And he was like, you know how the homies are. So when that vato got cleared to come out, I think it was the next day, because I don't remember that shit where you had to get cleared. What am I saying? I think it was the next day he hit yard, and the homie was like, let me rap to this vato real quick. So I followed him, but, you know, gave him a little distance, but I could hear everything, right? And he told him, he told a black dude. He was from Compton, Barrio Pobre, right? And he asked him, he said, hey, where you from? And he told him, I'm from Barrio Pobre. And he was like, all right. And he said, hey, you know, you're black, so I need to know right now, today, are you going to roll with the homies? Or are you going to roll with your people? Because this is your first day hitting the yard. You have to establish that right now. And he said, I'm rolling with the homies. I'm from my barrio. You know what I mean? Like, I don't give a fuck. He said, all right, cool. And the homie went and told the fellas, like, hey, nah, that's the homie. You know, he's going to be treated like everybody else, you know, this and that. Well, that's the theory, right? That's the theory. The reality is, and again, this is a touchy subject, man. But there was him, the black homie from Barrio Pobre, and there was another black homie from the Magicians, right? And they were sent on a holiday together pretty quick. And it was just to get them off the yard, you know, test their heart. But also, they didn't want them on the yard. They didn't hit them, but they asked them, and if they would have said no, they would have hit them. But regardless, they went to the hoyo. And I'm not going to lie, the one from Barrio Pobre, I didn't like him. And it had nothing to do with his skin color. It had everything to do with his way of carrying himself. The one from the Magicians, I liked a lot. And so, yeah, they were sent on a holiday. And, you know, a lot of times that's what happens when blacks run with the South. They have to be tested. That's the way vatos look at it. They got to be tested. Now, I want to get into a term. And this will probably be the only time I'll talk about this. And there's going to be people that are going to disagree with me, and that's fine. You know, I only speak from my experiences, my conversations, and what I saw and heard personally. I hear people talking about black sureños, and I've never heard of that in the joint. In the shoe, I know for a fact what I was told regarding that. Okay. And that's why I've always said, I've heard of black Southsiders. There's black dudes from barrios. But the word, the title, sureño, I'm not going to get into it. Those people that are in the know, no. That title is earned. And when you earn that title, it comes with obligations. It's a stepping stone to being something else in the criminal world. And no blacks can make that final. No blacks can ever make that final step. So if they can't make the final step, how would anybody believe they can make the first step? If you know what I mean, you know what I mean. So I'll tell you something too. I remember there was in Pelican Bay. I got out of the shoe, and this is when there were still llaveros, but llaveros always had their mesa. They had their we'll call it a committee of heads that they would run things across. When they have a decision to make, at the end of the day, it was Llavero's decision, but he had his people with him. Call them your war council, whatever you want to call them. We don't use those terms, but I'm trying to just say it where people could understand. You pick their brain. Hey, Holmes, this is what's going on, this and that. And somebody had left this guy's crew. I don't know if he transferred or whatever, so he had an opening. And he chose, because he didn't see this individual by this color of her skin, but he chose a black homie from Lennox to sit with him and discuss matters with. And this person was going to be, as all of them were, recognized as having influence and authority on the facility, right? That position for that dude lasted probably 2 hours because there was a silent uproar. Just as I told you in the story about the white dude that was running things in the oil, there were people that were adamant. A black dude cannot speak for our people. That's not going to happen. That's going to get you whacked. This is what people were telling the Llavero. People that he trusted, people that he respected, people that he knew were hitters. And so they told him, the vatos you have with you, your crew, you don't even have a paisa there. The paisas need representation. And so the vato from Lennox was told, hey, Holmes Spencer, but, I'm going to pick this other dude. Imagine that. Imagine how that had to be. How that had to feel, knowing that there was a handful of dudes on the yard that knew. And like I tell people, there ain't no secrets, really. It's very rare that you'll find somebody that can hear something and hold on to it. Most people have a fucking friend. A lot of people, it's their fucking ego. Your ego is an insecurity when you let it control you. So you'll have dudes that I'm gonna tell this vato to feel like you're impressing somebody. When in there, you're not impressing anybody. You're being a comadre. You're a gossip. And depending on who you embrace as your friend, he might not feel exactly the same way about you that you feel about him. So when you confide in him, shit like that, he's gonna know I can learn anything from this vato. But at the end of the day, he's a fucking comadre. And so you kind of like digging a ditch for yourself that you're going to fall into sooner or later. I know there's going to be people in the comment section, like I said, they're going to be like, well, I don't believe that. I know this, I know that. And I've had these conversations with people. Like I said, to get that title, you have to earn it. But it's a title that leads to something else if you do everything right. And if a person can't make that final step, what makes you think that the first step? Now, don't get me wrong. There's people we used to tell them, and I hate, but it was find out what somebody wants to be and tell them they can be that. Have them believe that. But they're going to have to do some favors along the way. And they're never going to reach that destination, whatever that is, whatever their ambitions are. And so you have that in prison. That's why I tell people, don't fall into the love story. Eh? Don't fall into the carnalismo story. Mythology is a motherfucker. The reality is the people who really want the best for you are out here. Don't get me wrong. You will make camaradas in there. If you go to prison, you will make camaradas in there. And you might find some camaradas that if you get crossed up, they're willing to get crossed up with you. But at the end of the day, you got crossed up. Wouldn't you rather be out here with your lady and your kids? If you're young right now, wouldn't you want to be out here and find that woman you want to make your wife and raise kids with? The streets are quick and easy, man, but they carry a long tail. One jale could have you sitting in there for 10, 15, 20 years. playing this cutthroat game of chess with real life people. I expect this video to have a lot of controversy. I hope it doesn't. I hope people hear the message, man. At the end of the day, homie, it's the criminal world is not where it's at. There's so many fucking opportunities for people out there now, or out here now, to do something other than gangbang, other than robbing and shooting, stabbing, slinging dope. There's a lot more, man. And if there's anybody who's not raza, who's from a barrio or thinking about getting into a barrio, man, think about getting into school, getting a job. Think about your family. More importantly, understand your worth. Because that's why we get involved in shit like that. You know, we don't value ourselves. If you don't value yourself, you can't value nobody else. That's why we do what we do. That's why we're willing to kill, die, give up our freedoms, give up everything. Once you understand your value, what your potential is, then you can grow into something. So I know I'm getting sidetracked a little bit, but really I'm not, for what I want to do with this video. You know, I answered the question because I've been asked that. And people are going to say, I knew it. The Southerners are all racist. They're not. They're not. That's why I told the story of the vato from Lennox that was given a position of leadership. But prison being prison, in California, the look was, that's not a good look. Because the main rival at the end of the day is the blacks. Right now, there's been a lot of peace. There's a lot of in-house killings going on. That's prison. That's never going to stop. But you know, the look, it was like, how you going to have somebody that looks like our main rival telling our people what to do? It was what it was, man. So that's my video for today. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If you did, do me a favor, hit the like button. Remember, we're trying to get 1,500 likes today on this video. Also, you guys got to let me know topics you want. Remember, I'm trying to go every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday live on my Dub S channel. Open forum. We discuss just about anything, stuff that I'm comfortable with. And it's been decent. It's been all right, man. We've had some good conversations, but you guys got to let me know in the comments. You can let me know on this channel or the Dub S channel what topics you would like to discuss, and we can open up with them, right? Also, my third channel, I haven't done anything on it in a year. It was called Discussions with Dubs. Now it's Dubs Clips. I will be taking parts of videos from my other two channels, condensing them down to maybe funny parts of it, or parts that I'm trying to make a point with. We'll see. And I'll be putting them on that channel. So it won't be the full video, but it'll be where you can just get maybe what I feel is interesting or what I think is humorous. And one more time, don't forget to check out Food and Fallon's today. He has a new food review. It was on Wrap Snacks. This is actually part 2. Go on over there and hopefully you enjoy it. With that said, everybody, please be safe, be smart, and tell the ones you love that you love them. I'm out.